everybody, this is Josh Runquist here for Heavy Debriefings, and it's time for another edition of Out Today and What I Missed, or Autumn Whim, or Aunt Whim. I'm not going to judge. Call it what you want. This week, we got 9 brand new albums to talk about, 6 out today, and 3 I missed along the way. Let's get into it.
Let's do it! Let's do it! Let's do it! Let's do it!
First up, we have the 7th album from Amaranthe, known as The Catalyst. The band has been quite polarizing over the years for their display of modern metal, pop, and everything else that goes into their sound. The band has experimented many times over the course of their albums, but I gotta feel like this album is probably the most consistent album the band has made. Olaf, Elise and company have really focused in on what works for the band, really making poppy, catchy riffs, getting heavy at the right moments, and just showing that they can have fun while doing all of it. While I'm not sure how this will rank as far as like the best Amaranthe album, if you are into the band, this should give you nothing but a good time.
Grandpa's a vampire? We're all vampires. But no, we killed Mr. Burn!
Next up, we have Borknagar with Fall. Can you believe this is the band's 12th album? I have a hard time believing that, but there goes the ravages of age. This is possibly the most experimental the band has gotten in quite some time. You get the black metal side, you get the folk metal side, you get the heavy metal and progressive metal sides going on, but there's so much more to it. There's so much atmosphere going on, and you can tell the band really wanted to come back strong after their last album. ICS Vortex is sounding as pristine as ever, and of course the rest of the band, how could you leave them out? This could be my favorite Borknagar album in time. It's a little too early to say that, but I think it will happen, and you'll see it pretty high up in my top 100 albums of 2024.
Next to spring and winter, fall is my absolute favorite season. Just look at all this beautiful foliage.
Next up, we have Darkest Hour with Perpetual Terminal.
I gave everything to the night. Gave everything for the song.
I can't believe this is the band's 10th album. Again, this year is really showing that bands of my generation have put out a lot of albums. But I will say with Darkest Hour, this might be one of the best albums that they've ever put out. You can tell the pandemic really affected them and they really wanted to strive to be the best band that they possibly could be. And on album number 10, they've done so. The riffs are so hard-hitting, the lyrics are so angry and emotional. You can really hear the metalcore sound of yesteryear and what's going on today with the band. They focus in on what they do best, and they just put out that killer second wave metalcore that we all know and love. Darkest Hour might not be the biggest name of that second wave metalcore scene, but they've always been one of my favorites, and you should check them out.
Lisa, get in here! In this house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics!
Up next, we have Hand of Kalliach with Corryvreckan, and I really, really hope I pronounced that right. Yes, this sophomore album from this duo is fantastic stuff if you love folk metal, especially of the early 21st century folk metal, kind of along the lines of a band like Helveti. I really hear a lot of Spirit and Solania on this album, which makes me very, very happy. Yes, the black metal sound, the folk metal sound, the very gorgeous vocals mixed in with the demonic vocals just work so perfectly together. It feels like the best of Scotland all thrown in together. While this album may be going under the radar for some people, it shows that folk metal is still just as strong as ever in 2024, even if you have to look for it just a little bit more. Seriously, if you need your folk metal fix, this is the album for you.
Crap, I'm gonna lose my fare. I don't want to go back to selling real estate.
Next up, we have the return album from Job for a Cowboy with Moon Healer. This comes out 10 years later, after the band might have broken up after the album Sun Eater. Well, a lot of things have changed and I'm glad to see the band back, putting out their most mature album to date. Of course, being one of the first bands to really be known for the deathcore sound, the band has really evolved into this technical, progressive death metal sound that really harkens back all the way to the 90s, prog death sound into brand new stuff that you would not imagine from the band. Everyone is technical and precise on this album. The production is so perfect for this genre, and it's great to see the band back, because if the band had ended on Sun Eater, they did end on their top note, but they have come back and they might have even peaked over that. Time will tell. But until then, if you've been waiting for this band to come back, or if you just need some great technical progressive death metal, Job for Cowboys here with Moon Healer.
I suppose I can't tell you much. The mountains can't tell you better.
Up next is Tvinna with 2 Wings of Ember. This is another side project from LVT. Funny how I talked about Illumishade last week, and now we're talking about Tvinna, and I really enjoy what's going on here. Kind of a polar opposite sound than what you would expect from either band. It's a bit more folkish, but it also incorporates a lot of different styles, mainly kind of focusing on like ancient folk sounds, very Celtic sounds going on as well, very tribal, but it all fits together. It's very poppy, very catchy, and as you go throughout the album, there's a lot of experimentation going on. And it's great to see the other members of LVT being able to really spread their wings and be able to show different sides of themselves. That said, we still need a new LVT album ASAP. But if you liked Illumishade, you might like Tvinna. Hey, it's some great stuff. And that's everything that came out today. So, what did I miss?
What I miss?
Next up, we have the brand new album from Art of Anarchy with Let There Be Anarchy.
Being who I am, the clowns and fools forever enslaved, yeah.
Now, this band has gone through so many transitions over the years. The first album featured Scott Weiland on vocals, one of his last vocal appearances. The second album featured Scott Stapp, who is now back with Creed. Now this third album, also having to have a Scott in the name, Jeff Scott Soto is now the lead singer of the band, and it feels like the band got tremendously heavier, almost kind of going off of Sons of Apollo, which Bumblefoot and Jeff Scott Soto were a part of at one point in time. This album is also super catchy as well too, but it's a lot more cinematic, a lot more heavy, not so much on the prog side, but going after the heavy metal side. And one of their singles features Cuba Gooding Jr. in an acting role. Bet you didn't see that one coming. Overall, I do enjoy this album, and I love the direction that Bumblefoot has taken this. But where are they going to go next?
We'll all get up. It'll be anarchy.
Up next is the third album from In Autumn with What's Done Is Done.
I don't remember. We are
Now, this is a brand new discovery to me, and you know how much I love my doom metal. This is some fantastic stuff, really encapsulating that doom metal sound, but also adding some atmospheric post-metal on top of it as well. It really adds some great atmosphere and cinematic moments on top of some tragedy, which is right up my alley. This whole album is downtrodden, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And for those that are looking for that doom metal sound, but want a little bit more variety than what you're used to, I think this is an album that you should really give a shot.
Hey, your early porno movies! Ooh, wait.
What's there is there.
And finally today, we have the brand new album from Vanir with Epitome. This album took me by complete surprise, as this is the first time I've heard the band, and I really regret that, as I really need to go back and check out the 6 previous albums. Starting off as more of a Viking metal band and becoming more of a symphonic Melodeath band, this is something that should have been right up my alley from the get-go, and wouldn't you know it, with Epitome, it truly is. I love everything that's going on here, from the epic choruses, the symphonic moments, that Melodeath sound of that 90s Melodeath sound matched in with some more 2024 flavorings. I couldn't ask for anything more off of an album like this. It just captures so much of what I love about these genres, with great production, songwriting, and technical ability. If you're looking for something a bit more underground, unless you're completely stupid like I am and completely missed the boat with Vanir, you need to check out Epitome immediately.
Come on, lads! Let's drive them back to the ocean!
And there you go, folks. 9 brand new albums, 6 out today, 3 that I missed along the way, 56 albums in total for 2024 so far that I've covered, and it's only the end of February. So what do you think? Did I pick some good albums? Did I pick some bad albums? Do I just have a terrible taste in music? Let me know all of that down below. And of course, like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you so much to everyone that has jumped on the train so far. There's been a lot of great steam in 2024 so far, and I'm very appreciative of it. And until next week, for Heavy Debriefings, this is Josh Runquist saying, embrace the skullet.